Going on, everybody? George Ose back at it again with another video. Shout out to those who've been watching, subscribing, commenting. Really appreciate what you're doing over here. I'm gonna take a slight pause from relationship stuff. I'm gonna drift off the LA riots. Get my banner up. Okay. I don't know what's been going on over there in California, but people are upset. We got like a little news blurb here, but apparently people have been protesting these deportation attempts by our government for people who are here illegally. Started here in Jersey. I believe Ross Baraka pulled a publicity stunt attempting to sympathize with these people right in the middle of a transit strike. This is what he chose to do. Now we see in LA, and some of the things I've seen look a little bit suspicious to me, but here is a news broadcast of Fox News. Let's see what they got to say about this. Sure. All right.
Let's go to Christina Coleman. She's on the ground in LA for us. Christina.
Hi, John. Yeah, we're here outside of the federal building where at least 300 to 400.
All right, that wig. You need a new wig budget. Fox News, man. What y'all doing with these wigs, man?
Protesters have gathered. They're protesting against the Trump administration's deportations efforts. Tension is running high here. There's a lot of cursing, shouting. There's a lot of graffiti, a lot of bad words up there. People clearly very upset. 300 National Guardsmen have been deployed to 3 separate locations in the greater Los Angeles area so far to ensure safety and protect federal property. White House officials say this response is necessary to address the lawlessness that has been allowed to fester here in the LA.
Are all these Mexicans not at work? This is amazing. An unemployed Mexican. Who would have thought?
Area. President Trump says he's deploying 2,000 California National Guard troops to LA. So far, at least 300 National Guardsmen have been deployed to 3 separate locations in the LA area.
You can protest all you want. You got your First Amendment rights. But if you cross that line of impediment, or you're putting hands on officers or destroy property, you will be prosecuted. We're already ahead of the game. We're already mobilizing. We're going to bring National Guard in tonight. We're going to continue doing our job.
And take a look at this chaos from yesterday. Rioters were waving around Mexican flags or waving it around a fire there in southeast LA County. They were setting fires in the streets during an anti-ICE protest. Tear gas was used to disperse.
Is that a Honda? Yo, they destroying the very cars that they've been associated with for all these years just to prove a point. And this is serious.
First, the violent anti-ICE protesters, but some of them threw those tear gas canisters right back at law enforcement. It was a dangerous, dangerous situation. And in addition...
Oh, yeah, hold up. We got to rewind this. Because I remember seeing a video earlier of this same area. And they were like doing donuts. Like where this car is on fire, they were doing donuts until the cars caught on fire, apparently, in front of a donut shop. So, touche.
And in addition to setting all those fires, rioters were also throwing boulders and rocks at law enforcement. And then on Friday, right here at the federal building, over 1,000 rioters surrounded it and attacked it. Violent protesters tried to stop ICE agents from carrying out their operations, arresting those with final orders of removal by an immigration judge that had not complied with that order. And get this, just moments ago, DHS released some information on some of the people that have been arrested. DHS officials say some of the illegal aliens arrested this week in LA have a criminal history, a lengthy one, and some of them, they involve a whole host of crimes ranging from sexual battery, second-degree murder, and willful cruelty to a child. But violent protesters still demanded that ICE release everyone they arrested. Authorities say those violent protesters, they assaulted law enforcement officers, slashed tires, defaced buildings and taxpayer-funded property. And immigration activists, they held a press conference that night calling for the release of everyone who had been arrested.
We're going to fight so our families are free. So we are asking that everybody that got arrested today be released.
Oh, look at this one. Look at her.
We want them in their houses with their families, with their children. That's where this is where we belong. This is our home, and we belong here.
Okay, so everybody is like running off right now. I'm not sure why. I can see just down the street. My photographer can move with me a little bit. There's a huge group of people marching down the street right now, and you can see this might be what we've seen before. Oh, look at that, Andy. If you can just scoot over to the right, look over here to the right. You can see there's a protester squaring off with law enforcement right now. Can you see that? So there you have, okay, we're hearing the flashbangs. We're hearing the flashbangs right now. This is what we've been seeing night after night. These clashes, these some of these violent protesters squaring off with law enforcement. You have that law enforcement in riot gear there. You can see them with their shields. They're forming a line. They're doing what they can to protect themselves from these protesters. And
There's something really off-putting about people just holding their phones up when people are being attacked. Like, aren't you supposed to be helping each other? Something. This is, I don't know. Okay.
And you have more of them, more of these protesters coming down the street right now. And you can see how quickly this could get out of hand. I'm watching people put on face masks. We're going to continue to watch this. We're seeing this right now. We can see it. Can we walk a little bit? Can we walk a little bit just to show a little bit more what we can see, Andy? If can. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move. Stay with me. Stay with me. All right, so here we go. We're going to take you up to the line so you can see what's happening here. All right, so you can see right now, you have officers that created a line to protect themselves, standing here with these protesters who are continuing to shout at them. The disrespect, the level of disrespect has just been insane over these past few days. You have so many people cursing and shouting at law enforcement. You know, these people are out here, they're just trying to protect and serve. They're just trying to keep this community safe. Following instructions, they're here supporting ICE agents as they carry out their operations, and that this is what they have to deal with. You see a lot of people, I'm looking at a lot of people with their face, okay, they're spraying some more. We're going to scoot back just a little bit more. Staying with the photographer, trying to stay at a safe distance. I got you, Andy. I got you.
Stay with me.
I got you. All right, so you can see they're pulling out the shields. The California National Guard, you can see there, we're hearing more flashbang grenades. Again, you have all right, so you can see you have the police here, you have the National Guards here, tactical vehicles, military vehicles. Again, this is the very same place where all that violence broke out on Friday. when you had the acting ICE director, Todd Lyons, calling it appalling. This is where that happened, where they said that that there were over 1,000 protesters. That was on Friday, and now we are dealing with this at this moment. Yeah. You guys, I'm coughing in some of that pepper spray. So my voice might be a little shaky.
It's a very tenuous and tense situation there. Heard you say that you may have inhaled a little pepper spray.
Yeah, that was earlier today. Wow. Okay. I think we switched to what's going on now. Over here.
Employee wellness, and to be able to offer whatever services we can to address the needs of our folks. Sure.
We'll go one more back there because he hasn't asked yet, and so Carmen, go ahead, and then one more, and then we're gonna call it.
So just two questions. One, is there a chance of instituting a curfew? And two, will you be going back and re-looking at any of these incidents that maybe there wasn't an opportunity to make an arrest at the time, but going back and trying to investigate who was responsible and potentially arresting after that?
No, thank you for the question. I spoke with the sheriff today, and we discussed the possibility of implementing a curfew. We don't rush into doing that, but if we need to do that, I'll go back with the sheriff and we'll look at the options as far as that goes. And as far as give me the second part of the question again.
For some of these incidents we watch unfold, a lot of people watch.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Things just unfold in real time.
Yeah.
Thinking, are any of these people going to be held accountable
Yeah.
for this?
Yeah.
For the cars on fire and things like that? Is there a chance of going back?
Absolutely. When you look at the numbers of arrests we've made, pale in comparison to what will be made. There are video accounts of what happened everywhere on social media, on individuals, cameras, iPhones. We will go after that very aggressively. Go after the all available video, analyze that video, and hold whoever we can accountable for the variety of different types of crimes that have been committed. And that's something we'll do with a number of different partners with levels of expertise that may be beyond what we have. No, thank you for that.
Tell me on what charges people were arrested yesterday.
Do you have the specifics? Yeah.
So yesterday, the 29 folks were for failure to disperse. They were all arrested today. So today, so far, this is very preliminary because there's so much stuff going on. The stuff that we know is one person was arrested for throwing a Molotov cocktail at an officer, a significant incident, and then another individual for ramming a motorcycle into one of our line where the officers were and injured one of the officers. Everything else is still very fluid, and I won't have that for a while. So CHP has made at least 17 arrests that I'm aware of in the freeway.
All right, thank you, everyone. Commander Hurtado will stick around to do comments in Spanish for anybody who's interested.
You've just heard from LA Police Chief Jim McDonnell discussing his department's response to the unrest and the protests that are taking place in and around downtown Los Angeles. Of note is that we're getting an indication now of the injuries that have happened. 3 police officers, 3 LAPD officers have been injured, none of them transported, and at least 10 people have been arrested so far this evening and today. One for throwing a Molotov cocktail at police officers, another for ramming a motorcycle into a skirmish line of police officers. But again, the officers that were injured were not transported. Some 29 people arrested last night. CHP has arrested some 17 people. There are arrests being made, and he says there will be more in the future. With regard to the National Guard response, one reporter asking whether we need the National Guard at this stage of the game. The chief said, the first 2 days, it didn't appear that way. I'm paraphrasing. There are normally a number of steps that are gone through before the National Guard is requested. He would have requested mutual aid from different departments, a cooperative effort with the LA County Sheriff's Department. Those things had not yet happened before the National Guard was called in. So he says, we wouldn't have been there yet. That's a direct quote. With regard to whether they're needed tonight, he says he's going to have to reassess and look at how things are going. We're seeing from Air 7 how things are going. You're looking at a parking lot pay booth there that has been set afire by some of the people there. More information coming from the chief shortly, but let's
Don't look good out there in LA, man. Prayers out to them. You causing all this damage, man. I think you should go to jail. Personally. Wait a minute. Hold on. LA really does look like a third world country. Out to the hoteps, but yeah, it's yeah, these guys need to go to jail, man. Causing all this damage, fighting for people harder than they fight for themselves. I hate to see it. I think this is a grift. I think that people's emotions are being played with, toyed with. Not looking good, bro. Not looking good at all. Anything else to add? This. Yeah, look at this. This is live right here. Look at this, John. Okay. See this? Hmm. What are they doing with these trash cans? I mean, these dumpsters. In the middle of the street. This is animalistic right here. This look crazy. I don't understand. You gotta keep your people in check, bro. This is what happens when the Lakers miss the playoffs. The Rainbow Building. So they are all over the place. Oh. You can see all the traffic is like redirected just to avoid certain areas. Oh, wow. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Blockades. Oh, boy. Yeah, man. People gonna get hurt. Even worse. Hmm. What they saying?
Bridge above were lighting pieces of cardboard on fire and throwing them down to the vehicles below. So that CHP vehicle actually caught on fire a little bit before CHP officers were able to move in with a fire extinguisher and put it out. But while we were zoomed in there, you were able to see a lot of debris just spread across the lanes of the southbound 101 freeway. So it's going to be a big cleanup here.
All right. And Gabe Santos, thank you for that. As we let's keep that picture up right there, the picture you have, because the chief in his press conference spoke about the difference between people who are out there expressing their First Amendment rights, expressing their disagreement and disapproval of the ICE raids of day laborers and others, versus the people who are out here doing damage. And he actually had physical descriptions of what some of those people look like, what they do, that some of them are from out of town. Some of them are people who go from literally from one position of civil unrest to another. And he described them, a lot of them, as.
Yeah, man. We saw this with BLM. You know, you had a split where you had people that were actually, you know, protesting the correct way. Then you had people who were just committing crimes. I'm seeing it again. Will the people fall for it another time? I say yes. I think that people are going to fall for this one more time. All this seems very manufactured. Shout out to Jersey for nipping this in the bud. Because that would make my commute trash. Mm-mm-mm. Anything else?
Protesters, is it a demonstration of protest or is it unrest? And in some cases, as you mentioned, it might just be both. Someone who showed up for one now enjoying the other. It's frustrating to see this continue to play out and the LAP just allow this to happen. They are overwhelmed, as the chief heard. As we heard from the chief, that this is still going on. And as Gabe mentioned, once they break up one grouping, it just spreads out to another spot. So we're seeing this play out. We have that parking security booth on fire. And now we have obstructions in the middle of Main Street as this is being allowed to continue. And it would just, a lot of people want to see this end and these people taken into custody. Now, it has been a very eventful day in our city, likely one that we are going to talk about for a long time to come. Now, there are two very different aspects to what is happening this weekend in Los Angeles. Let's begin with what played out on the streets of LA. It was a very destructive day. Several clashes taking place outside the federal building. Once that crowd was broken up, demonstrators scattered and a large group.
Yeah. All right, man. Hey, man, keep your got family out here, man. Keep them in your prayers. But I'll be back in with another video. This is probably, look at this shit. Arrest all these people. All right. I'll take it easy.